I want to show you the exact moment I stopped trusting AI with the pricing. I had a customer, HVAC contractor in Miami. He built a chatbot for his quote flow. It spent weeks on the prompt, tax rolls, margin floors, discount logic. Everything was in there. First customer to use it negotiated the price. The chatbot approved a quote below his minimum job cost. He honored it, lost money on the job, but the problem was not fixed. That was not a prompt problem. That was an architecture problem. And today I am walking you through exactly what I built to fix it. In my last video, I show you 6 different tools from the same chatbot with the same rules. If you haven't seen it, link in the description. But today I want to go one level deeper because the question I keep getting is, why does this happen? You give it the rules. You told it exactly what to do. Why does it still get it wrong? Here's the honest answer. When you give an AI a price prompt, you are not programming a calculator. You are hiring an employee and handing them a price sheet. They are smart. They want to do a good job. But every single time a customer asks a question, they are doing the math in their head from memory, fresh, no calculator, no spreadsheet, just their best interpretation of the rules they read from the spreadsheet. And here is the thing about memory and interpretation. They are never perfectly consistent. The longer the conversation gets, the more variable the customer introduce, the higher the chance the employee makes a mistake. Sometimes they get it exactly right. Sometimes they are off by a couple dollars. Sometimes they forget a rule halfway through. Other times they approve something they were explicitly told never to approve. That's not a bad employee. This is just how human memory works. And it is exactly how language models work, because language models were trained on human generated text. They reason the way human reason. Math does not work that way. Math has one correct answer, always. 2 plus 2 is 4, not probably 4, not 4.1, 4. That gap between reasoning and deterministic is where every pricing chatbot breaks. Think about it this way. Imagine you walk in a store. The cashier is incredibly smart, great with customers, remembers everything. But instead of using a register, they calculate your total in their head. Most of the time, they get it right. But occasionally, they forget the tax rate or apply a discount they were not supposed to, or make a small mistakes on a complex order. You would not blame the cashier. They are doing their best. But you would absolutely install a register. That is what Quotix is. It's the register. The AI is still the cashier. It still handles the conversation. It still answers questions. It still negotiates. But the moment a number needs to be calculated, the register handles it, not the cashier's memory. Same input, same output every time. Okay, with that being said, let's see what's possible. And let me walk you through Quotix canvas. On the right side here, that's where all the nodes. The first node on the right is trigger node. This node will work with APIs, form submitted, and webhooks. Flow node, basically, it will ask questions from top to bottom. All the questions listed from top to bottom. The scope node, let's say you have 3 services and the customer select 2 services. It will go in depth for the first service, ask all the related questions to that. Then it will go back again for the second service and ask all the questions related to that. The logic node is if conditions with or, it's just condition node. Form end is at the end of the workflow. You have a node to submit the form. Bundle node, it adds mandatory items as a bundle. Let's say you select a service in New York, it will add mandatory fees to the service without asking further questions. GeoNode, basically to calculate distance. Let's say you have a condition, if the service more than 20 miles, you add a certain fee. If it is 50 miles, you add a different fee. If it is more than 100 miles, you don't accept the job. So basically just calculating the distance. Roles node is where all the calculations happens in terms of margin protections, service, complex formulas. Everything happens for calculations in the roles node. Okay, let me walk you through the form that we will be building. First question's asking about the actual service, what type service someone looking for. Second question, this is not an actual question really, this is mandatory fee. This will be added to all the quotes. Just for the sake of this example, I have this added. Now, the following question will be asking about the AC locations basically. And here, if you can see, we have all the way on the bottom here. If someone said, I'm not sure, what I have as an option is look at the maximum value all the way to the minimum value and add that in the quote. Because if someone does not know how to answer this, they still can go through the form and submit for a quote to get an estimate as close as possible. So this will be an option for someone does not know what's the correct answer. Let's keep going. We have a total of around 7 questions, and that's about the air handle location. Also, this question about existing duct work condition, and we have a bracket for that as well. And now this is an option for upgrade. If someone looking for different systems, they want to upgrade their service, that's another question. And about the premium and installations, we have an option to ask if they want to handle the premium for them, or if they're not sure, still this is a valid option here. Now for the timing, let's say someone need this service as soon as possible. There's an extra fee for that. If they're flexible with the timing, actually, they can get a discount. Let's see how this example can be implemented in Quotix. Okay, let's see what's possible. And let me walk you through the nodes I will be using in this example. I have 4 total nodes. The first node is the trigger node. The second node is flow node. Third is bundle. And last is form submissions. So let's start with the trigger node. This is a trigger node, and basically it tells the workflow where the information is coming from. So far, I have only 2 options, but I will stick with the default option. The second node I'll be using is a flow node. So this is a flow node. Let me expand this. In the flow node, we can ask questions in a sequence from top to bottom. What I mean, we have a total of 3 questions in this node. The first question will be asked, what do you need help with today? The second question will be, where is your current outdoor AC unit? The last question will be, where is your indoor AC handler installed? This important just to highlight is you will ask all these questions in a sequence before you do any action. So for example, in the first question here, I have, let me show more details on what does it look like. That's the actual question, and these are the options. AC replacement, AC repair, all the way to maintenance plan. Now, let's say someone select an AC replacement. AC replacement will cost $9,500, and I know the tax for that service is 6.35 for the sake of that example. And let's say someone select AC repair. However, AC repair, it can vary for the price. It can be from $275 all the way to $425. Since this vary and need like an inside visit, I have a bracket for it, and I will apply the tax. And moving to the next service, I have a price as well, a bracket for the price, and a tax applied. I apply all that for the rest of the services. The next node asking for the location. So where is this service located? Let's see. We have 4 options for this example, and there is no price attached to the selections for the service. Now, this is a condition. Let me expand this. This is a condition. If you say you are in Miami, there will be a mandatory fee for any service in Miami. So $800 will be added as a mandatory fee for Miami only, just for the sake of this example. To explain what does bundle item mean, I did not have to ask questions. I can add more services and say travel maybe, and say $20. You can add more bundle services. You don't have to ask a specific question for that service. So that's the whole concept with bundle node, adding services and fees without asking further questions. Now, premium and inspection question. Let me expand that. So asking the customer if they have a premium and give them the chance if you want to offer a premium or let them use their premium. So we have only 3 options for this question. They want to use their premium. They let the customer, they let the business handle the premium. They're not sure. And this is a great example when we say they're not sure, because we can add this in a bracket. Like maybe they have a premium, but they don't know they have that. So they can see the bracket where it falls. If they have it, they can just cancel this fee. If they don't have it, then 350 apply to the quote. Now, one more question about the condition. Let me expand this. Asking about the condition of the duct work. This is subjective. People can say it's maybe in a good shape, maybe it's not, but we still have this option to let people select based on knowledge. So we have price attached to the condition of the duct work. Starts from 200 and it goes up all the way to 600. And if they're not sure as well, so we can add a bracket from 0 to 600. Now, when the question asks for an upgrade, you can, give them an option to select the tiers of the service you want to provide. So here, just only a quick walk you through. You can say select all that apply to the quote. So you want to give them an option to say, yes, I want an energy efficient system, a premium filtration package, etc. And again, there will be a price attached to each selection. So premium filtrations will be 400 all the way to the rest of the options. Now, when we talked about the scheduling, there will be like a discount and extra fee based on what their preference. So here, for example, if they are comfortable with having a flexible time between 7 to 14 days, there will be no fees all the way until if they want an emergency as soon as possible, there will be applied fees. So if they're flexible with the time, we can give a discount. So for example here, if it is an emergency, we're gonna add 250. Now, if they are flexible, we can give a discount 500. And this is a form submission node. Okay, now let's preview what we build, what kind of workflow we have so far. So I'm gonna click on preview. And here, if you recall, we had flow node basically asking questions in a sequence before it does anything. So here, that's the first question. You ask for an AC replacement, and that's the 9,500. We can see the update for the quote on the right side. Say we said AC repair. That's the one we had a range for. And now let's keep going. Where is your current outdoor AC unit located? And you can pick all the options we listed here. Let's say I think this one has no price to it. It will not add any value. And now rooftop, it's added here. And let's say not sure, it will give a bracket from 0 to 350. And let's say the last question is attic pull down access, and add another fee to the quote. Say garage. We don't have a value for garage. And as you can tell, all the three questions were asked all at once. And now when we ask for Miami, it'll bring more questions. In this case, only one question. So for example, here, when I click on Miami, I say I'm located in Miami. I got an extra travel fee, the one I added in the quote, and I have the mandatory 800. Now, let's say I did not select Miami. I select Boca Raton. Let's see what happens in the next question. It did not ask related questions to Miami, and it did not include any extra fee. So let me continue with Miami example. It asked me more about Miami, dad's country for AC replacement. Do you have the premium for that? You can have the option to say yes. And so where's the premium? Here, we added the premium for that. Say I will pull my own premium. It removes that. Say not sure, it will add the bracket. Not sure about the premium, it added the bracket. And here, by the way, that's where the text get updated. And that's the final quote. We will give a bracket as well. So this condition asking about, this question is asking about the condition for the duct work. Say it's in a good condition, no extra fees added. Let's say needs a little work, will be added here, right? And now that's the option for having the service type package. So if you want like an emergency efficient system, or you want the premium, that will be added as well here. Now, last thing about how flexible with the schedule, we can say, let's say I wanted this as an emergency. It adds extra fee for emergency. And let's say I'm flexible with the timing, it removes that. And let's say here, I'm flexible with 7 to 14 days for a potential discount, and the discount is applied. There's an extra plus here, but the discount applied. And that's this end of the form. I am building Quotix completely in public. Every week, I am posting what's working and what's not. A couple things before I go. First, the live HVAC demo link in the description. Walk it through it the same way a real customer would. Select the service, answer questions, and watch the price update in real time. Second, drop your niche in the comment, whether it's an HVAC, roofing, a cleaning, legal, property management, whatever you are building for. I am building templates for every vertical, and your niche might be next. Third, if you are a GHL agency and you want to deploy a pricing engine for one of your clients as a beta tester, please leave this in the comments. Subscribe, new video every week until this is live, and let's go.